Hello and welcome to round 6 of my Steps to Success career mode. We're here for the Monaco Grand Prix Circuit de Monaco, and it's going to be a one-stop probably, as we have an engine and a rear downforce upgrade to bring to this track. And yeah, it's a good track. I think we could get good results since it's more of a sort of a driving skill track with a lot of downforce to just put on the car. We should have probably got a chassis upgrade instead of an engine upgrade to bring to this Grand Prix. We got some new championship points last time out. We got P5 in the Grand Prix, and yeah, let's go see what we can do out on track in the qualifying, because I feel like it could be an interesting one with driving, because this is going to be a completely new challenge for me. And yeah, let's head into quali.
We're here at the magical Circuit de Monaco for one of the most challenging qualifying sessions on the Formula One calendar. Who can add their name to the illustrious list of Monte Carlo pole sitters here today? And I'm here, of course, with Anthony Davidson on what has turned out to be a very pleasant day indeed. No weather to interfere, no problems on the track, so absolutely no room for error.
That's right, Crofty. It's looking good out there at the moment. Each team will have their own game plan for this session, and of course, once the cars leave the garage, they'll be under parc fermé conditions, so any last-minute adjustments need to be done right here and now. Beyond that, it's all up to the driver. Who can keep their tyres in the right temperature? Who can hit their apexes? No race fuel on board these days, of course. These are the fastest cars we've had in a long, long time, and it's right here in qualifying where they're at their absolute peak. Let's get started.
So we're here on our qualifying lap round the Circuit de Monaco. We're going to go into turn 1, braking very late through there, cutting the corner a little bit. We're in P3. This is Williams' dream right here, but we do lose tons of positions going up the hill with the low downforce or with the high downforce. But we are going to move on to later in the lap, because we are now in P1 going through La Grasse-Casse and going round Antonino's the last corner. I think it's called Antonino's, I don't know. And we're going to run to the line. Is it going to be P1? I think it is. It's P1.
Excellent lap.
Jeff saying that it's an excellent lap. It certainly was.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top three today. Stevens, Leclerc and Alexander Albon. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
So we got P1, Charles Leclerc P2, Alex Albon P3, highest result for him I'm pretty sure. Verstappen P4, and I think it was Hamilton, Vettel, Norris, Raikkonen, Hulkenberg and Manson rounds out the top 10 results here in Monaco. We're going to see what we can do inside of the race, because we feel like we can keep the position. Let's go.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That was how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean Sea. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today, though, ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1-mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than inches from the race-ending barriers. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Stevens. As with all the drivers at this level, they have a lot of ambition. But Formula One's a daunting step up from any other series, so expectations are high right from the start.
And this is something that has ended the career of many a young driver, as that leap up to Formula One proves to be too much. But luckily in this case, I'd say they're doing a good solid job, and the risk the team took in signing them is definitely starting to pay off.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Stevens lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Albon, Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, and Vettel, Norris, Raikkonen, Hülkenberg, and Kevin Magnussen, Ricciardo, Bottas, Lance Stroll, and Sainz, Giovinazzi, Perez, Romain Grosjean, and Pierre Gasly. Kvyat and George Russell ends our grid lineup. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, it's a short run to Saint-Devote, and you know what Monaco's like, so try to defend this lead.
Thanks, Jeff, for the advice, but we're just going to take the no heroics into Saint-Devote, please. That's all the advice that we're going to take. It's going to be a one-stop strategy from soft to mediums, 20 lap race, so it's going to be quite a long one, and you better put your seatbelt on because it's going to be a long ride, and we're going to be pitting on around lap 6. We're going to lower the fuel to around one lap under, so we can go into lean, get some good traction out of corners, and try and keep this lead throughout the whole Grand Prix. It's going to be a tight one, but I think we could probably do it, you know. With no traffic ahead of us, we could just clear off at the start, and now we are starting. We've got 3 lights, we've got 4 lights, we've got 5 lights. Just lights out, and away we go for the Monaco Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc trying to go around the outside of us. We block it off, and we keep the lead going into turn 1. Is Leclerc going to get the run up the hill through the casino section? And I think we are. We've kept the position, and Jeff's telling us to save fuel this early on in the Grand Prix, as we are a lap over the delta for what the fuel should be. Going into the hairpin now, pretty tight one, but we make it stick, and Leclerc is still in P2, still right on our ass, and going down through the tunnel section, and we do hit the inside wall bit there as we hit some boards. Going through turn 1 once again, Charles Leclerc sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as we're on lap 3 now. DRS is now open. Is he going to try and take the position off us? I don't think he will, but we are still in P1. Going up the hill, we do kind of lose a rear end, and we go very close to the wall, and he's still right behind us. Going through the tunnel section into the chicane now. We nail that, cut it a little bit, but you can in straight corner cutting, and I know that because I've been on this track in a league race. And going through the swimming pool section into the second chicane, and going through the Rascas, and we're gonna go and start the 5th lap of the Grand Prix. No heroics into Saint-Devote, please. But we are going to pit in around 2 laps time, and in fact we are just about to skip onto at the end of the 6th lap, where we're going to go through the swimming pool section now. We're going to getting ready for our pit stop, nailing that chicane, but he's right there. Leclerc's right there, so when we're going to try and go for the undercut and hope that there's no traffic this early on in the Grand Prix. We are now in the pit lanes, and we're going to have to wait a very long time to get into our pit box, as we can see it now, but we need to estimate for about a 2-second stop. But luckily the boys have come out with a 1.8 second stop. I swear that's the record. That's beating Red Bulls definitely, as we hit the wall with our rear right tyre, but we kind of get away with it, and we do completely mess up the pit exit. That costs us a lot of time now. And as we go through the tunnel section, we are right behind Kvyat now in the Toro Rosso. And we do have some front wing damage though, so this could be a struggle, as we're going to move on to the end of the lap, down the front straight now, and you can see Leclerc exits the pit lane. Are we going to take him, or is he going to overcut us. He's going to overcut us, and we're going to go for the run up the hill. As Jeff's going to warning us about some gearbox wear as we go through the casino section now, going into the tight few couple of turns. Now trying to go a little bit wider and taking some good apexes, but not close enough to get to the arse of Leclerc. But we're still there. We do cut that chicane a little bit, but we get away with it, luckily. And we're going to have to turn down the lean mix. We're going to have to turn it down to lean and low, as Jeff's warning us still about some fuel issues. And there is Carlos Sainz, the McLaren, just ahead of us, trying to get in the way of Leclerc a little bit, because he's well entitled to do that, because he's still on the same lap as us and he's ahead of us. As Leclerc's trying to go round the outside into the hair pit, into the chicane, and we're going to go through to back now, and still within the slipstream of Leclerc. We're going to have to try and take a wider line than him, as he goes very defensive into turn 1, and we're going to have the run on him now. We're on the medium tyres as he's on the medium tyres. We're going round the outside. We make some contact. Going round the outside of the casino section. He's still there. We're going to have to give him some space, as we still do. Going through all of the casino section, we're still ahead of him, and we're now completely ahead with a car's width, and we are through on him. So we're going to have to try and get through on Sainz. We're going to have to dispatch Sainz very quickly now, as we go through the next couple of sections, which is a very difficult few corners for us. Going through the tunnel now, we should have the run on Carlos Sainz. Can we dive down the inside of him into the chicane, into the middle of the lap? And we do make the dive bomb. We do make a little bit of contact, but I don't think you can really make an overtake without forcing it on this track. And Jeff's just saying great manoeuvre, and we have done a fantastic Grand Prix. So far we're leading the Grand Prix, and we had a brake failure and we're straight into the barrier. We're out. What the hell? Brake failure. Williams stuck our brakes on with glue and we're out. It's all their fault. No one else to blame. Certainly not my fault. It's just brake failures all the way. Just we're crying into our pit box now. And yeah, Leclerc wins the Grand Prix.
Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Roman Grosjean's my driver of the day. I don't think I've ever seen such a strong performance from him.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, Renault move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Bloody hell. A bloody team ruins it again. Anyway, Charles Leclerc gets P1 in this Grand Prix. Hamilton P2, Sebastian Vettel P3. Verstappen, Albon, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Lando Norris, Bottas doing a low P9 performance, and Kimi Räikkönen getting P10. We're out of the Grand Prix. We were last. But if you have enjoyed today's episode in the Monaco Grand Prix, please press the subscribe and like the video. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow, and goodbye.